Hi, hello, welcome to church time. Are you the preacher?
Whoa.
Because we're the daughter.
You put the preacher with the daughter and it's just good.
Preacher's pop girly, pop girly's daughter.
Yep. How are
Well,
we doing?
uh, good.
Doing good.
How are you?
Good.
Well, so we've
Another
established
great
it's all
day.
good. So that's good.
Another
What?
great day. Pop Girlies Nation.
Yeah, I mean the sun is shining. Um, Katie Gaga, Taylor slaying. I mean, there's nothing
Yep.
else to do.
Yeah.
Gaga looked so good last night at the VMAs.
Legendary legend icon.
I love that big fluffy.
Ooh.
She kind of looked like a Labubu, but like in
Do
a
you,
fashionista way.
do you mean like her look at the VMAs or the
Yeah,
performance
that
with
like
the hair?
fluffy, like black look.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Wait. Oh yeah, they were different. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
she like booked it to Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if there would have been traffic?
They probably would find a way.
They probably got her in a helicopter or something.
Like that's
The PJ.
crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think she pushed well, also for context, at the VMAs were last night, and Lady Gaga had a concert also last night. And I don't quite know the distance between where the VMAs were
I
held
think
and
it
Madison
was
Square
like
Garden.
45 minutes, like a 45-minute drive with traffic.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Because everyone was looking it up and posting like
Yeah.
the maps on Twitter.
Yeah. So she went for I think maybe just the first half or so of the VMAs. I
Like
don't think
literally
she
the first 5 minutes. She
Oh, got it.
accepted an award and then left.
Oh, I didn't know that she got the Artist of the Year like first
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was the first thing that was presented after the first performance, and then she
That's
left.
funny.
oh,
That's
got
really
it. Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, because she
Yeah.
had to push the start time back for her show, like by like an hour or two, something like that. So yeah, but her performance was pre-recorded from a different concert at Madison Square Garden. So yeah. But yeah, she looked so good. And her look too for like the dead dance part of the pre-recorded performance was like so cool.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is also the first time we're talking since we've gotten all of the Gaga Wednesday stuff and the dead dance and all of that. So
Yeah, well, this is a good segue into our hot
Segue.
tracks because I'm guessing I know what yours is, Maria, but would you like to share what your hot track is?
yeah, well, I'm actually gonna maybe shock and surprise because I'm actually not gonna have my hot track be the Dead Dance, despite it being a new Lady Gaga song. But as many know, after the Dead Dance was released, they also released the bonus tracks from Mayhem onto streaming platforms that were
Can you
free.
stop the high?
Yeah. Do you want me to keep going?
Sorry, I was trying to be funny. Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
Okay. So so yeah, so the exclusive tracks that were only available on vinyl are now on streaming, which is really exciting. So yeah, Can't Stop the High is like definitely, I mean, my favorite of the bonus tracks. There's only two of them, but I just think it's such a cool Gaga song, and it's like leans more to the rock side of Mayhem, or like kind of maybe emulates more like Born This Way, or even like kind of a little bit of Joanne too, if I'm being honest. But for me, I like this song really reminds me of Loser by Beck. I don't know if you guys know
Oh, I
that.
know that song.
But like it really gives me that same vibe. Like I
Yeah, I
think
see
Can't
that.
Stop the High is like a little bit quote heavier, but it's just such a good song. But the Dead Dance is really fun too. I'm honestly just like a little bit relieved I didn't have to like watch all of Wednesday to like enjoy her cameo because she was genuinely only in the show for like just about like just shy of 2 minutes. So I'm
That's
like,
like
thanks.
me going to the movie theater to see Taylor for a minute and a half for The Fucking Giver
Right.
in that
Yeah.
busted ass brown wig delivering lines horribly.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like a little bit relieved because I was like, this is not my jam. I'm probably not gonna like be like vibing with this show. So I was like, yeah, I just didn't have to like devote too much of my like actual time like watching the show.
She like a ghost? Was that what she was?
I think. I don't know.
Some kind of ghost or something.
Yeah. But it's like I had never seen American Horror Story at all. And then like maybe 3 years ago, I watched Hotel, like her season of American Horror Story for the first time. And I still think that's like her best acting performance, period. Like she's so good in it.
Wait, over Stars Born?
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
That's
I
kind of
mean,
crazy.
it's my favorite. Maybe I shouldn't go so far as to say it's like her best performance, period, but like it's my favorite acting endeavor of Gaga's, period. So,
I mean, it
it's
does have the
just
amazing line reading of "Ignore her, she drinks."
she drinks. Yeah, it's
I
so
love that
good.
line.
It's so good. And then I'd been kind of shocked to find out after I'd watched the season and that season alone that apparently that season is regarded as like one of the like worst seasons of not like the worst, but like less favorable seasons of American Horror Story for like actual fans of the show. So I was just like, oh, that's a gag. But yeah, so I've been blabbing a lot, but all of that to say, new Gaga stuff, very exciting. And yeah, my hot track is Can't Stop the High. So yeah.
Yay! Okay, Drew,
Yay.
bring us to the second one.
Yeah, so I also watched the VMAs last night. And I saw the performance by Somber, and I thought he was really good. And I at work today was streaming his new album that came out a couple weeks ago, and it is so good. Um and normally I'm like with Levi, like I typically don't gravitate to like male voices, but he is so good. So I wanted to highlight one of his songs. Um, I think I'm gonna go with the song Crushing. It's the opening track. Um, I think that one is definitely my top three of the album. So yeah, I just highly recommend. It's like very good alt rock. There's a lot of mix of a lot of different influences you can tell, but yeah, he wrote all of the songs on his own and then like produced some of the songs on his own too. So it's really good. So Crushing is mine.
T. So
Yeah.
earlier, Drew, you had made a Jeff Buckley comparison. Me, what can you expand
Yes.
upon that?
His vocal quality sounds so similar to Jeff Buckley. And then when I went and researched him a little more, he said that like his two influences are Jeff Buckley and Phoebe Bridgers.
Oh wow.
Oh, I
Okay.
can
So
totally get that.
yeah.
I feel like Phoebe's in the writing and
Yeah.
Jeff boy,
Yeah.
Jeff,
Oh, Jeff.
Jeff,
Yeah.
friend
Let's
of the
see.
pod.
Jeff
He
from
definitely gives Jeff Buckley in
No,
the
he does. Have you heard any? Because I never listened to him before, but I listened to a few songs today that Drew sent. Have you ever listened to him, Maria?
So I've only listened to his song 12 to 12. Because one of my other friends was actually mentioning him to me last week, and I had like seen his name like maybe a couple other times, but I hadn't ever listened. And then I recalled that there was like, oh, like Addison Rae is in this like random person's music video, but it's that song 12 to 12 is the music video that she's in. And I was
Oh,
Oh,
like,
I didn't even know
oh,
that.
the dots are being connected.
I
But I
saw a
really
picture
liked
of
that
them
song.
together like a few months ago, and that's kind of, and I knew he existed as a twink. Like I knew that like there was this new twink on the rise.
He's only 20,
Yeah.
which is
Imagine how I saw on the
insane.
Wikipedia page today seeing 2005 as the birth year. I was like, oh
I
my
know. I was
God,
like,
That's so crazy.
that's crazy. You weren't alive for the release of Mean Girls. Like that's insane.
that's crazy.
I mean, I know we were all like in children, but like we were
Yeah.
at least living.
Alive.
All of like the good episodes of SpongeBob had like already probably aired.
Yeah,
Like we're
literally.
probably getting bad at that.
And he was like 3 at the height of Hannah Montana and like Wizards of Waverly Place.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
Wait, so he only would have been 3 when like the Fame came out. Imagine only being 3.
That's crazy. Imagine being 10 in 2015.
No,
That's not the way it's supposed to be. We have it the best because we're always the age in the
of
year
the
that
year.
it is.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
so
so
beyond.
it is.
I'm obsessed with
I
it.
always feel a little special though because I at the very end of the year become the next year
Right.
because I'm 99.
and you're like, here's what's to come.
Yeah, it's like I'm special sneak peek. I'm the first single.
Here's a little
Yeah.
teaser.
That's funny. Um, okay, cool. Well, I kind of debated a little bit on what my hot track should be because I have done this artist a lot. We've talked about this artist a lot. I did this artist last week, but I just can't help it, like Pop Girlies, you want me to be authentic in my real self. Like you have never had to deal with me in real time of a Taylor release because we started the show like 6 months after Tortured Poets was already out. And so my mania had kind of subsided a little bit. And I'm sorry, I can't. The Swiftyism, it's like hitting like crack. I can't. My eyes are wide awake. I'm pacing in my room. I can't stop. And there's an autumnal chill in the air, which means that we have to be listening to an album that actually revolutionized the way that we view the seasons. So I don't know if you guys know this, but before 2012, there were only 3 seasons. Winter had like 3 or 4 extra months. But then Taylor Swift released the album Red, and they were like, wait, what if this is actually the fourth season?
We
And
need
so
a
then
season to go with
we need
this.
a season to go with it because it like treacherous doesn't belong in the summer, but I knew you were trouble doesn't belong in the winter. Now does it? No, no, no. No, it's the fall. It's the fall, everyone. It's the fall, baby. And so the second that autumn hits the air, the second that it hits the air, I have to go to red. I have to. It's a law. And people who don't will be sent to Alcatraz. Wait, Al no, Alcatraz is the Harry Potter. What's the one that's real?
Alcatraz is real.
Oh,
Alcatraz is
Alcatraz. Oh, I
real.
was thinking Azkaban. So Alcatraz is real. I thought I said Azkaban, but
I'm
oh,
dead. I
a
can't.
dumbass. Well, the song I'm going to pick is always been like a huge fave of mine, and I feel like it's a bit slept on. Uh, and it's a song I got to hear live at the Eras Tour in London, and it changed my life. And it is Sad, Beautiful, Tragic. Sad, Beautiful, Tragic is like in the back half of the album. It is this like weepy, melancholy, dreamy ballad. It's like her doing Mazzy Star if for people who know that band of Fade Into You fame. I wanna hold the hand, it's that, and she's like doing like a Mazzy Star impression, and it's amazing. It has some of my favorite vocal moments of hers. The guitar just sounds so haunted, and there's this like ukulele like doing this like instrumental melody, just like this like ukulele plucking on top of the guitar strumming. That's just so good. And it has some of my favorite Taylor lyrics ever. Like I think one of her best lyrics of all time is you've got your demons, and darling, they all look like me. Like that's some fucked up shit. That's fucked
Yeah.
up. That's fucked up. Or good girls, hopeful they'll be, and long they will wait. I mean, who's doing it like that? No one.
No one.
Sad Beautiful Tragic. Both versions are also excellent. OG's excellent, and the Taylor's version's excellent.
But
They're
what are you choosing?
I actually don't know. I don't know in the moment. I think I'm gonna go OG just because I think if people haven't listened to the song before, I'd want them to hear the OG since they can, and then go to the Taylor's version. I think I slightly prefer the production on the OG, but then slightly prefer her vocal on the Taylor's version. Because she does some really cool thing, like
She does on the Taylor's
the
version.
way she sings Lock It and Pocket. Do you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? It's
Yes.
different.
She leans into it so much more in the
She
Taylor's
does. She
version.
does. And she like it she doesn't add notes, but just the way that she's pronouncing the words and like the emphasizing, it's a little different.
Yeah. It's the OG one. I wonder if the her vocals on the OG are like a demo or
They
something.
are.
Okay, because
They
it
are.
soun's like it,
But because
but
yeah,
it's
they
in a good way.
in
In
a
a
good
good
way.
way.
Yeah, because they said that like when they cut the demo, she was like, this is good as it is because it captures
Yeah.
what she wanted for the song.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Have you ever heard that song, Maria?
It's so
Not
good.
It,
off the top of my head, I don't think so.
I mean, I know you like, I mean, I know you're Cocteau Twins. That's your dream pop girls.
Well, yes.
You know, it's a Mazzy Star's son or Cocteau Twins' daughter.
Yeah. Buried that, buried that.
Oh, well, I was also having a hashtag Mazzy Star Monday because I was listening to them as well. After listening to Sad Beautiful Tragic on repeat, I was like, I just need to go back to the source. And I listened to the album that Fade Into You is from. That album's so fucking good.
Remember when you got faded to you in the play that we were in?
Yes, when I scammed my way into having all the songs that I wanted to be in the play.
So
Yes.
Levi and I were in a play senior year, we'll make this up, senior year of college. We were in a play together and they had a shared playlist that we could add to and it was very like 90s inspired. But also like it was a very poetic play. So there was a lot of poetry and a lot of imagery that we then brought from like current songs at the time. And you got every song
I got every song I wanted. I got every song I
that
wanted.
they mixed into the play.
And like they didn't ask us for
No,
like help because I got this song in one of my big scenes, and then I got How to Disappear in another big scene of mine
by Lana.
by Lana. Yeah, I got everything I wanted. I did.
Yeah. And they said here's a playlist. They did not say we're going to be putting these songs into the mix of the show.
And but I love, and they also didn't know who submitted what, so I love that they knew that I submitted mine for my characters.
Yeah.
It just made me feel
It
like
was everything.
it was just obvious. It's just everything to me. Yeah.
Wow.
So celebrate
Rising stars.
hashtag Mazzy Star Monday by listening to Sad Beautiful Tragic.
So good.
By not listening to a Mazzy Star song.
Well, yes.
Right. That's like not listening to Sky Fits Heaven on hashtag Sky Fits Heaven
I
Friday.
know. Well, you can listen to Blue Light first by Mazzy Star and then Sad Beautiful Tragic. Girl, Blue Light fucked me up. She fucking talking she's like there's a blue light in my best friend's eye. She was talking about. And I was like, that's fucked up shit. Why are you
Oh my
saying that to
God.
me? I'm at work. Okay.
Don't you know I'm at work?
Yeah. Hope Sandoval, shut the fuck up. Okay, Maria, let's do hashtag Preacher's Daughter Wednesday.
Yes. Well, it's time to talk about Preacher's Daughter. So, the long-awaited episode about this very iconic album. And please feel free at any moment, Drew or Levi, to like interject with any sort of like, tidbits of knowledge or anything you might want to add as we kind of go through our background here. But kind of just to piggyback off of the end of last week when we were talking about how this would be our next episode, I do just want to give a bit of a trigger warning just for some sensitive topics that are explored throughout the album, as some of the themes here are pretty intense. The album, as many know, does follow a narrative structure, like a fictional narrative that is very present throughout like the whole album. Like it follows like a very kind of like aligned story. So again, like just kind of listen at your discretion. And plus, if you do a quick Google, or excuse me, a quick YouTube search, I almost said Google search on YouTube. Those are two different things. If you do a search on YouTube, there's a ton of like really awesome like video essays where people break down like the Ethel Cain lore and it'll explain to you like exactly everything that's like happening in the story here and everything that's been created around like this body of work specifically as an album, but then also talks about like her plans to expand the narrative into like other forms of media. So, like, definitely please feel free if you want like a more like intense deep dive into everything that's going on here. There's a lot of videos where people like break it down like really eloquently. So, definitely take a look if you're more interested in learning about the canon of Ethel Cain for sure. But we'll get into some background and just kind of go like semi track by track, just kind of break down like exactly what's going on in the story here. And then, of course, as always, like kind of go around and talk about our personal experiences and thoughts and feelings about the album. So since this is the first time we're ever talking about this artist, I'll do a little bit of an intro. But this is, of course, Ethel Cain. Ethel Cain being a moniker for this project, so to speak. So the artist's name here is Hayden Adadonia. Goes professionally by Ethel Cain. And I'll say too, anhedonia is actually a Greek word meaning lack of pleasure or without pleasure. I know that Hayden had given that name to herself. But I feel like maybe for simplicity, we could continue on and use Ethel. I feel like most of the time, like whenever people are talking about her, they'll kind of use just her professional, like famous name. So just throughout the episode, we'll use Ethel. But Ethel is an American singer-songwriter, record producer, and model. And she became known for and like very famous for her style of Southern Gothic style music and also ambient music as well. So she was born in 1998 in Tallahassee, Florida, and is the eldest of four children in a Southern Baptist family. So as we'll come to learn through like the narrative that the album follows, it's somewhat loosely tied to like her own kind of upbringing and experiences. Her father was a deacon and she was involved in the church choir from a young age, just like her mother. And music and singing was extremely present throughout her entire upbringing. She was also homeschooled. Um, but yeah, so something too throughout her upbringing too, she began studying classical music, playing the piano, and just getting musical influences from a variety of Christian music. And church had been her first like major exposure to music and singing. So in 2019, hey, gosh, I'm getting like all mixed up with the names. Ethel began actually recording music under the name Ethel Cain, which of course became like her main creative project. For the moniker of Ethel Cain, she wanted it to be somewhat of like a womanly, matronly, old American name, quote, and also had taken inspiration from the biblical figure of Cain for the last name. So for the album itself, it was her first debut album released on May 12th, 2022 through her independent record label Daughters of Cain. It actually did not get a vinyl release until 2025, and with that, the album debuted at number 10 on the US Billboard 200 chart, making Ethel the first transgender artist to ever reach the top 10, which is super cool. So the album has an 82 on Metacritic, which is super great, but does famously have like a really sour Pitchfork score of a 6.4. So pretty interesting
Which
there.
is crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Like
Like,
the album that has American Teenager on it having a
It has a
six, even
6.4.
Obama gagged, and you're giving it a 6.4.
yeah,
Yeah.
lest we forget American Teenager being one of Obama's like songs of the year.
Well, one of Obama's interns songs that I do
Right.
not believe that he is picking those songs.
Well, there's no way. Did you ever see a thing with him and Hassan Minhaj where he's like, "You're not actually reading all those books, are you?" And he like has to like laugh and like turn his face off camera.
No, I haven't seen
I
that.
haven't seen
So,
that.
it's so funny. Oh my
Like,
gosh.
I just don't think that Obama knows who Ethel Cain is. I don't
There's
think
no way.
he's
There's
seen
literally
the
no way.
name Ethel Cain in his entire life. I think he was talking about like a ghost from the Civil War or something. Like, there's no way he knows what that is.
No. No.
I also feel like he wouldn't be gagging because it's not very like complimentary of the American government or military complex.
Right. That, yeah.
No.
That's what's so gaggy
Kind of his
about
whole
it being on
thing.
his list.
I mean, it's literally like the second half of the first verse would be like, whoa, okay, this isn't like, yay, America.
No.
Yeah.
No, 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 no,
No.
no.
So bonkers. I almost forgot about that.
I can never forget about it because I always see the video go viral on Twitter and it goes even Obama was gagging and like and retweet every time because it's fucking funny every time.
Yeah. Okay. So as far as like credits on the album, it was entirely written and produced by Ethel with assistance from Stephen Mark Collier and Matthew Tomasi on certain tracks, but like is widely regarded as being like self-written, self-produced, and all of that stuff. So we'll kind of go a little bit track by track here. Again, this is like a fictional kind of narrative here, inspired by Ethel's own struggles with culture and religion, but is mostly focused on the fictional character of the same name, that name being Ethel Cain, a girl who had suffered abuse and escapes from her Christian family and community. And something too that Ethel states is that the character is somewhat like her own alter ego and described it as her own, quote, dark, evil twin. The overall lyrics and themes of the album include transgenerational trauma, toxic relationships, and occultist Christianity. And also some of that kind of piggybacking off of kind of our American teenager discussion being like the quote American dream. The story of the album is actually set in it's actually set in 1991 in the southern United States, 10 years after the death of the town's preacher, who is, of course, also the main character's daughter. Or excuse me, the main character's father. Something also like to note too is that Willoughby Tucker, I'll Always Love You just came out. Ethel's third studio album, supposedly. I guess the canon of like Ethel albums is like a little bit wishy-washy,
Yeah,
but
because like, do people count perverts?
I think she said that like Perverts is not included in like the Ethel Cain canon.
Because perverts is just its own weird thing.
Yeah.
Girl,
So,
perverts is scary. I liked it, but I was scared.
girl, I will never like I'll get more into it, but I'm never clicking play on that whole album. I just can't do it. Like for my own mental
No, it was
sanity.
scary. And thank God I was listening to it in the daytime. Imagine listening to I couldn't listen to the song at night, the album at night.
No.
I would think I was gonna get snatched.
No, it would be so bad for me if I ever listened to any of those other songs that like weren't Punish. Because like Punish is good. I
Yeah.
mean, the actual like when you break like pulling up Genius for that song, you're like, oh, this is
Yeah.
crazy. But that's a good song. But everything else, I'm like, I no, I would not be able to sleep. And I've already said multiple times, I think on this podcast, that after I listened to Preacher's Daughter for the first time, I was losing sleep over this. So like I'm staying far away from Perverts the album. So so yeah, none of that. So yeah. So yeah, quick kind of overview here. The first song, Family Tree Intro, explores transgenerational trauma and religion. American Teenager mainly focuses on anti-war themes and criticizes gun culture in the United States. A House in Nebraska tells the story of Ethel and her partner Willoughby, which again is the main inspiration for the prequel album. And then in Western Nights, it focuses on another partner of hers who is more of like a bad boy of sorts. So she kind of gets like roped into these like kind of crime-esque scenarios. Um, and let's see here. And then the fourth track, Family Tree, again, kind of ties back to her relationship with Christianity and a complicated family network of violence, like directly tied to religion. Hard Times focuses on Ethel's relationship with her distant father, who had perpetuated sexual abuse, and essentially just kind of expands upon her relationship with him now that he has passed. On Thoroughfare, she talks about meeting another man in Texas and kind of begins to tell the story of them two being together. Gibson Girl tells the story from the perspective of a prostitute, and Ptolemaea is Ethel experiencing hallucinations induced by drugs, and is very scary. It's a very scary song. I'll just be real. I think the song's so scary. And the namesake for the song is inspired by the ninth circle of hell in Dante's Inferno, which is dedicated to those who have betrayed their guests. So, following that, Ptolemaea is followed by two instrumental tracks, August Underground and Televangelism, which the first one represents Ethel trying to escape from her lover, who I believe is still the guy that she meets in Thoroughfare, who ultimately kills her. And then televangelism symbolizes her ascent into heaven. Sun Bleached Flies is the song where she essentially reflects on her life from beyond the grave, and kind of laments on her experience with religion and faith in her community. And then the final track, Strangers, also kind of goes through her experience with experiencing death and kind of reflecting upon, maybe like her feelings towards her killer who had ultimately cannibalized her and kind of seeking like validation from her lover and religion, and also focusing on her relationship with her mother and eventually the 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 future of being reunited with her in heaven, so to speak. So that is the Walmart version of Cliff Notes crash course that you're ever gonna get on Preacher's Daughter. So like please seek other people who had created like really in-depth videos breaking it down, like if you want more information. I think as like a quote concept album that like follows a very like guided narrative, I think the album is actually pretty easy to follow as far as like understanding like okay, she's talking about a guy here, she's talking about a different guy here, like this, like you can definitely tell she's talking more about religion here, she's talking about family, she's talking about her father. So like that's just something where like I personally sometimes am a little bit weary about concept albums because sometimes they can just get so muddled up with like lore that they're like really hard to break into and actually understand what's going on in this like fictional narrative. I think Preacher's Daughter is actually pretty like I think the experience of following it is like really I don't want to say it's like easy but I think it's pretty like nice to follow and you can pretty understand what's going on from the lyrics. But again, like definitely seek out like video essays where people break down for you for like hours because there's a lot of them and there's a lot of interesting stuff to kind of break into, and it's this world that's been created by her. So yeah, definitely yeah, kind of seek that out if you're interested. But those are again just like my my very brief cliff notes on kind of like track by track of like what's kind of being told to the listener. Um, so yeah, definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. But yeah, like anything else that you guys wanted to add as far as like what's going on in the story or just like any other tidbits that you guys might have?
No, that was perfect. I like how you kind of mentioned it in like kind of shorter blurbs because obviously we're not digesting it in the moment, right? We're like kind of just talking
Yeah.
about our thoughts about it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, definitely if lore is something that propels you to like an album more, this is like a perfect album for you, I will say.
I
Yeah.
do just want to add one thing. Yeah, Marie, you did a great job summarizing it,
Yeah.
in a
Thanks.
really succinct way, because this is not an easy thing to talk about succinctly. I do
Yeah.
just want to add one like addendum to the Gibson girl description, because I think it's important to note that like he, the guy that she meets in Thoroughfare, I think his name's Elijah. I think that's what his name is.
I think it's Isaiah.
Isaiah,
Wait,
that's what it is.
Isaiah. Yeah,
Isaiah.
it's Isaiah.
Isaiah, that's what it is. Girl, I knew it was a prophet. I just got the wrong one.
Right.
Interesting that it's named after a prophet in the Bible. But I think it's important to note that in Gibson Girl, he is like forcing her into sex work and that he
Right.
is like drugging her. Which I think kind of like is maybe the reason why that song kind of has like this woozy kind of feel to it, and there's this like
Yeah.
vocal manipulation. um I just think that that is like important story wise, because like
Yeah.
Thoroughfare he's painted so beautifully, and like Thoroughfare is this just like kind of like relief that you get halfway through the album, because everything before is so depressing, and you get this just like big epic love song, and like you think things are going to be going better, and then it's like she is having like severe hallucinations because she is being drugged and forced to perform sex work.
Yeah. Yeah, and so and like also, yeah, I was On the Wikipedia, because like I had thought that that was the case, like narratively, like
Does
that's
it
what's
not say that
happening in
on the
that song.
Wikipedia?
On the Wikipedia, it does not say that. And forgive me, but I didn't check another source. So I was like, I guess
That's so
this is what
weird because
I guess this is what I'm gonna go with.
I know that I've read it elsewhere and it's like said
Yeah.
that. And like that makes it makes because that's what's happening. Like it makes sense lyrically and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So apologies for not being super clear on that. But
What is
yeah,
happening with
Wikipedia's
Wikipedia?
wrong.
What the hell?
So yeah.
Well, amazing. That was
Yay.
wonderful, Maria. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, Levi, do you want to go first?
Sure, sure. Um, yeah, I mean, my God, this is just I think this might be the heaviest album that we've talked about. Um, there's
Blue, Carrie and Lowell.
that one's yeah. Blue is sad. I mean, Blue's obviously devastating, but like I don't know. I think this passes Carrie and Lowell though, because there's just like it's not just sad. There's just like evil things happening. Like these are songs about like horrific events.
Yeah,
I mean, these are
Yeah.
songs about like sexual abuse of children and
yeah,
family abuse and murder and cannibalism and violence and I mean it's just
yeah.
it's very heavy. This is a not an album I would recommend for you to just like put on for something to listen to. Like I think that you really need to go into this record really dedicating yourself to listening to it and understanding it. I think it's most rewarding in that way. And this is yeah, this is not a casual listen. Like if I'm listening to this all the way through, it's because I like want to have the experience of listening to it all the way through. I'm not just gonna like, when I'm at work, throw it on because it will make me really, really sad. And I think people have maybe different responses to different things, but that's my response to it. Anyways, this was the first time that I heard about Ethel Cain. So this album actually came out the same day that Dance Fever came out by Florence and the Machine, who she ended up opening for in the Dance Fever tour, funny enough. And so I remember, because I'm a huge Florence fan, and so I was, all over the Dance Fever of it all, that I remember this album also being talked about. I mean, I remember seeing this was the first time I'd ever heard of Ethel Cain. I had missed her EPs. I hadn't heard anything else, but I was like seeing this like album cover everywhere and people talking about it and people being like, "Oh, like the Florence album's amazing, but don't forget Ethel. Don't forget Ethel." I was like, "Who the fuck's Ethel?" Um, and so this is when she like entered my consciousness. And that summer, the summer of 22, is when I heard American Teenager for the first time. And I was like, "Whoa, what is this? What is happening right now?" Uh, but I don't think I listened to the full record until like winter 22, 23. So like either like December 20, I think it was maybe January 23. That's when I think I listened to the record for the first time. And I was like, okay, so this is what we're doing. Like this is crazy. This is some really crazy shit. And I just kind of over time got more and more into it. I think it's a bit hard to penetrate as an album. Like I don't think it's very like friendly for a first listen, especially if you're not like prepared for what it is. I mean, I think Maria did a good job priming anybody who hasn't listened to this album before on like kind of what to expect, but it was so different than what I kind of thought it was going to be, especially because American Teenager, the song that hooked me, that is the outlier. It's complete red herring. No other song on the record is like that. So don't go into this thinking that you're getting an album of American teenagers because that's just not the case. The pace is very slow, it's very haunting, it's very dark, and it's very heavy. But I think it's a great album. I mean, it's just I would say objectively, like excellent. Um, I don't understand this Pitchfork review at all. It's never made sense to me. I think they just have it out to get her. Yeah, and so I think I'd want to start honestly, kind of some place that I normally don't start because everybody who listens to the podcast knows that I'm a huge lyrics person, songwriting is really important to me. But I think the thing that you are really struck by when you hear Ethel for the first time is her voice. She has a beautiful voice. She has been compared a lot to people like Lana, which is funny because they have beef now. And Florence, I think you can definitely hear the Florence influence in the way that she sings. She just has this like incredibly rich, resonant tone. It is, she does not have a light, wispy voice at all. It is just this gorgeous, rich, beautiful voice. And she sings and opens her mouth in a way that's so emotional, you're so moved by it. She knows how to use her voice excellently. She does like really interesting like riffs, not like a traditional like a Mariah, like, not that kind of riff. She just does like interesting like vocal flips, and like her mouth is shaped in interesting shapes when she does her riff. So like the sound of it is kind of different and like weird. She's just an incredible vocalist, and I think she knows exactly the kind of vocalist that she is and the kind of artist that she is and the way that she wants her voice to sound. Because I think it's one thing to have a great voice and it's another thing to know how to use it to advance the story and serve the songs and fit in with the production. And she can do that amazingly. It's incredibly impressive that this is basically all done by her. I know Maria mentioned that there's like a few other people on it, like here and there, but essentially, this is an Ethel Cain production, and that's crazy. I think that is so insanely impressive. Because she's also, I mean, if she's producing everything by herself, she's the one playing all these instruments and creating these instrumental tracks and then doing all the technical work as well. Like it's just incredibly impressive. And this really is an auteur, somebody who like has a singular vision that they are dedicated to, and their craftsmanship is on every single corner of the project. I mean, I don't think that there is another artist right now who could create an American Gothic epic about a young woman experiencing evil in all forms around her and make it compelling and make interesting, catchy, great songs out of it. Like it's just so impressive to me. I think she's a really great songwriter. I think that her lyrical voice is very interesting. I mean, her imagery is obviously drawn a lot from Christianity and the Bible and the American South, and kind of also like the American West, and that we hear in like Thoroughfare. Um, she tells the story in a way that doesn't feel like musical theatery. Because that's my thing with concept albums. I think if they get too heavy, it's kind of a fine line because you have to like have enough of the concept in there for them to make sense. But then you also can't veer too far into it where it feels to me like a musical or like something that's not like an album. And I think she does a great job of like making the lyrics thematically coherent, but these songs also just work as songs. Like I can listen to pretty much anything out of context and like it still works, which I think is a really hard thing to accomplish. I mean, some of my favorite songs of the decade, and like one of my favorite songs of all time is on this album. Um, I think things that maybe I'm not as in love with, I do struggle with the pacing. I mean, I've been listening to this album for years now, and I understand like why everything is there storyline wise. The pacing can be tough, I think, a bit, just with how slow stuff is. I think also getting American Teenagers so quickly and then having it followed up by A House in Nebraska, which might be the slowest moving song, and then Western Nights, which is pretty slow moving, and then Family, and then Hard Time, Family Tree, and Hard Times. Like all of those are like just there's a huge tempo drop. And I can think I sometimes struggle in that section, really being as invested before we get to Thoroughfare. And then Thoroughfare, I'm kind of back in it because Thoroughfare is a bit of a switch up. And it's not like a foot stomper, but it like is a bit different. I would say kind of genre-wise. I like that is definitely the most country. The acoustic guitar is kind of different. The pace, the beat of it, tempo of it's all just kind of different. And then we get Gibson Girl, so I think and then we have, how do you say the word? I can't say it. Ptolemaea. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Ptolemaea. Like those three songs are all very different from each other. And then we have, the two instrumental tracks, which stand out, and then Sun Beach Flies and Strangers. I would say that the back half is stronger. I don't know if that's a hot take. I think the back half is stronger just because I can listen to that in a row more and be really engaged with each song. I sometimes am losing the first half. And kind of just because some of these songs are so excellent, it's inevitable that like not every song is like greatest song of all time. And like that it's kind of the downside of like being able to write a song like some of the songs here. I want to hold the songs that I'm talking about for the Holy Trinities. Um, but it's just like, some of them just don't add up. And especially if they're like right by each other, it's just really noticeable that you just can't compare where you can't compete. Some every song's cute, but gorgeous is gonna, devour cute. So, but overall, I think Ethel's a really incredible artist. I do think it is important for us to know the bit of controversy that she's landed herself in the last few months, kind of right in the lead up to the release of Willoughby Tucker. Sorry, I need to sip of my water. Because I was feeling my dry mouth come on. Um, yeah, so in July, a whole bunch of previous social media posts from like kind of like late 2010s, kind of before she really started making music, um, came up and were resurfaced and like she accused people of like hacking into her computer to steal stuff. They hacked into her Spotify account and like changed the photos of everything to like posts that she made. Um, and she issued a response basically saying that like this was like a concentrated effort by like people who were essentially anti-trans, bad faith actors, to like have her receive public backlash and, damage her career, damage her mental health, all that stuff. Um, the stuff that she's like accused of having said and posting about, it kind of ranges. I mean, it's like some of it I think is like typical like internet edgelord stuff. I mean, she does there was like stuff saying the N word, like that was said. She had jokes about like building that wall. There were jokes about kind of, sexual assault and just a whole range of stuff. I think not everything is at the same level. And I think the way that they presented it was that like every single offense was the worst offense of all time. And like, I'm sorry, but I just don't think making a fat joke is at the same level of saying the N word. And I think it's offensive to like pretend that it is. And like that to me is an obvious attempt to just like pile on, pile on, pile on the trans woman. But I do think that she should be held accountable for saying the things that she said. Um, I thought that she addressed that portion of it in her response really well, because a lot of people, when they get caught doing something like this, they say something like, oh, I didn't intend to, I didn't mean to. And I think that she really owns it and said, no, I knew exactly what those words were. I was in like, she kind of explained the thought process that she was in a very dark period in her life, but that's not an excuse for anything. And that it's just a very I think that part specific is very, very well written, and I encourage people to read it. Obviously, like I'm a white person, and so my opinion on this doesn't matter the way that like a black person's would. Um, but I just do think that's also important. I didn't want like to go the episode not bringing that up because like I didn't want us to like be maybe seen as like ignoring that because I think that that is definitely something that people should be talking about when coming to her music, even if I mean obviously I'm still listening to Preacher's Daughter and her music, but I just do think that we should you know at least be able to have that conversation. And I also do believe in like people changing and like I don't think it's okay to if somebody like changes their behavior and like expresses remorse, like I think that they should have the chance to like continue like living their life. And, I do believe forgiveness is good. But it's just a very complex thing. I just wanted to put it out there.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. And I think it's interesting too, like since, like people our age, we weren't like complete children when like the internet came out. We are like, probably in that like preteen area when we were like, maybe like at that age where it's like, oh, like iPods are new, like here's an iPod, or like Instagram just came out, like let's make an account or whatever. Like I think it's interesting that we're kind of part of that generation where like depending on how active you were on the internet or not when you were younger, like more or less like your entire human experience can be
It's
documented
documented.
online. And again, like, not like making an excuse for like any of the things that like, she may have said, but it is like quite a it's like this it's a monster of a thing,
Yeah,
the internet
agreed.
and your digital footprint. So so yeah, I mean, it like just brings this new level of complexity to artists that are like in and around our age range too, like having that shared experience of like any mistake or like like ignorant thing you might have said or like uneducated opinion you might have had, like it is part of your digital footprint, whether you
Yeah.
like it or not, depending on maybe how like how frivolous you may have been on the internet.
And I
So
also think it's important. I love that you brought that up. That's such a great point, Maria. And like, again, not making an excuse at all, because I think there is absolutely no excuse for a white person ever saying the N-word. Like, that's inexcusable. But like, I mean, she was raised a white person in an incredibly like conservative Christian town in the deep South. Like, I think that like context also matters. And like, again, not excusing it at all, but it just makes sense to me why somebody would maybe be in a position, especially if they're uneducated, if they're very ignorant, if they have a very limited worldview, would arrive at that viewpoint. And obviously, I mean, she's changed very much now. I mean, now she's like a huge leftist. I mean, she's like calling for, didn't she like call for like Biden to die?
Yes.
You remember
Yeah.
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
So the pendulum is completely swung in the other
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah. Yeah. People change.
Yeah. So it's a very complex thing. I don't
Yeah.
have all the
No, I'm
answers.
glad you brought it up because yeah, I mean, yeah, she definitely is like a very like complex music artist for someone who is not like a huge pop star. Like we're talking about
Yes.
Ethel Cain here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, really interesting.
Okay, but that's kind of pretty much all that I had to say.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. So oh yeah, so my turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, so honestly, a lot of what I had written down, Levi covered. So I was gonna say just super impressed, by the production and the lyrical content that she, really did on her own. I think that's like insane. Um, and I also wrote down how she really does have one of my favorite voices. I see a huge Florence vocal influence in her. Um, and they also have a really great live cover that they did together of Florence's song Morning Elvis, which we covered obviously in our Dance Fever episode. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out. Um, the main thing that I took away from it when I re-listened to it for the pod, and then just what I captured from listening to it in full is just the world that she creates, I think is so insane. Um, Especially like from having grown up in like suburban Missouri, it definitely, and I mean, I think we all grew up in like suburban areas. I think she captures it in such a way that I haven't heard in music before. Like I've seen it a lot in films and TV shows, but I really haven't gotten it in music before. Um, And it's honestly, it's like something you can't even like put into words. So it's really cool that she was able to capture it in like an album. I find the world of it so impressive and you really feel transported into it, which I think, and I kind of think that's what Levi was getting to when he was saying how, um, like you can listen to the songs on their own, but then you still kind of feel like you're in, that's kind of what you said, right? Yeah, I love that about this album. I think that's probably my favorite part of listening to it. But yeah, I think while the world is so coherent and it knows exactly what it's doing, I think the parts that are harder for me are like the instrumental parts, and a lot of the songs are a lot longer to where I don't see it as very consistent, especially because of the high highs that are on there. Um, so yeah, I mean it's really hard because this I mean we'll get to the ratings later, but this I think is probably the hardest album that I've had to rate, like give it a number score because while there are so many high highs and like so many God tier songs, it's so hard to rate as an album because I also love, the production elements, her vocals and the lyrics, but it's also hard because like it's not inconsistent in the way that, it distracts from the album and what she's trying to convey. It's almost like inconsistent because of the fact that so many of the songs are perfect. And that just means that, some things kind of feel like they could be shaved off and it could just be a perfect, 5 track run. So yeah, it's really interesting, but no, I mean, this album is so great. And I famously listened to it for the first time on a plane, which I wouldn't recommend. But it was really interesting, like, because I was flying from um, Kansas City, where I'm from, flying home to Chicago. And it was just really intriguing to like listen to it from like the perspective of being home and then coming back. It was really cool. Yeah, I think she captures it in a really heartbreaking way, but also like in a really nostalgic way. So yeah, I do any of you guys know where she resides?
No.
In like Arkansas.
Okay, I wondered that because I know she's still, like she's in her social media posts, she still gives off the vibe that she's like living somewhere like
Because she grew up in Florida. And
okay.
so she lives somewhere. Give me 2 seconds. I can find it.
Yeah, I it's so intriguing to me listening to her music because she gives off like that vibe. But yeah, I mean
Alabama. Alabama.
okay,
Rural Alabama.
okay, cool. Yeah, I mean it's really intriguing how she like really transports you with her music. Um, but yeah, I listened to it on a plane for the first time, which I would recommend. Um, just because of how haunting it is. But now I don't it's hard because I always see it as such a great album, but I don't I don't really listen to the album as a whole as much anymore. I really just go to specific tracks. Um, so I guess when we're talking about the album as an art form and the album as a whole, you kind of have to take the whole thing into consideration. So I'm really interested to see how, the ratings play out. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yay. Cool.
Maria,
Well, thank you
Maria.
both. Yeah, I'll just go into some of my thoughts to just kind of round us out here. But I'll say I was 2 years late to this album. Like I sometimes I just do this thing where like when something comes out and everyone's hyping it up, like if I wasn't like on the bandwagon from the beginning, then like for some reason I just like avoid it. Not like super purposefully, but I'm just like, ugh, everyone's talking about this, like whatever. Like I'll just get to it when I get to it or what like I don't know, for some reason my brain just does that and I'm like for some reason not super attracted to like something that's like really popular if I wasn't like part of it too. So so I didn't listen to it until like 2 years after it had come out. Which also I did the same thing when Hamilton was big when we were in high school. I didn't listen to Hamilton for a full year, like after it was huge. So then a year passes and I'm like, wait, you guys, Hamilton's really good. And they're all like, girl, we know. So I don't know why I do that
That's
sometimes.
so funny.
I know. So so yeah, but I mean the narrative here and like the sonic landscape is just like very captivating. Um I I don't know. I never really considered like my own personal opinions about like the runtime or like the flow of it. Like 'cause I know that's something that both of you guys had mentioned. Because I feel like for me everything's like super duper in place. Like there's like a song in particular where like I'm a little bit indifferent to it, so like it'll probably come up when we talk about our favorite and least favorite tracks. But like for me, like everything is so in the place that it belongs, where it's like can't really imagine anything not being here. Um, but yeah, like I mean, there's definitely some longer run times, but for me, like I don't know. I guess I just like don't really. I don't know. Like once the song starts, I'm like into it to the point where I'm like. I'm gonna finish it. Like I'm gonna finish every song. So I don't know. But but yeah, I mean, just to kind of expand on like everything, the like I mean, Ptolemaea and August Underground for me are like so scary that I'll never listen to them again, period. I'm never going to hit play on either of these songs for the rest of my life. I just won't do it. I'm not willing to do it and it's my cross to bear, you know? Like I'm never gonna hear it again. Like I'll obviously hear bits of Ptolemaea, you know, and once like we're talking about like Bethany Frankel like meme compilations, like yeah, I'm gonna hear Ptolemaea again for sure. But not the whole thing. I mean, the whole thing is just so sinister and scary. Like I just I just can't do it. It's that's the same reason why I'm like never gonna listen to Perverts. Like for my own mental health and like in pursuit of protecting my peace, I'm not gonna do it. So yeah, that's kind of my tea there. And I think I may have mentioned this before, but when I listened to Preacher's Daughter for the first time, it was maybe like the week before Cowboy Carter had come out. So I was like, whoa, my gosh, Preacher's Daughter for the first time. This is crazy. And then was listening to Cowboy Carter for like, so for some reason, well, not for some reason, because of that reason, Cowboy Carter and Preacher's Daughter for me are like somewhat like cosmically connected. And it's just like so weird. It's like really weird in my brain. But really it only makes me my brain only goes there when I listen to Cowboy Carter. Like listening to Cowboy Carter makes me think of Preacher's Daughter, but Preacher's Daughter does not make me think of Cowboy Carter.
You're
I don't
You
know.
listening to
like you
Yaya
hear
and you're just
American
hearing sun bleach flies in your head.
Yeah, I was gonna say you hear American Requiem and you're like, wait, this doesn't lead into American Teenager?
I know.
That's
So
funny, Maria.
it's like so bonkers, like something with like the closeness and proximity with these two albums, like it really it created a chemical link in with the two in my brain. So I don't know, it's just like so bizarre. But um but yeah, I mean these songs are so beautiful. Her voice is beautiful. Um, and like the instrumental tracks, I think, are like super essential to the album. When I listened to it for the first time, I didn't know that there were instrumental tracks, but I think that kind of signifying like her death and then ascension to heaven is like a really beautiful like instrumental companion to like that idea. Um, so yeah, and actually like preparing for this episode like listening to it. I, of course, did not listen to Ptolemy and August Underground, but I actually had like a bit of a hard time getting through televangelism and Sun Bleach Flies, like actually having experienced a loss like somewhat recently. So that was like a very like difficult experience, honestly. Made me quite emotional. But yeah, this album's really great. Really like there's a lot to chew on here. As previously mentioned, like thematically, there's just like so much going on, so much in the lyrics, a lot of just I mean, for all of the reasons that we've previously mentioned, there's a lot going on here and it's very interesting. So, yeah, I think that's all my thoughts.
Oh, thanks, Marie.
Yay.
Yeah, cool. Well,
Okay.
now we'll go into our least favorite tracks that we call our me's. So yeah, Levi, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I do. Okay. So I don't know what you guys did. We didn't talk about this before. I'm not including the instrumental tracks.
Okay.
Yeah, just naturally mine doesn't include them.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Um,
I'll do the
I don't
same.
know. That just always feels like cheating to me because it's always like I'm never gonna. Yeah. Okay. So because of that, I'm picking a song that to me just doesn't really stick out. I mean, I've listened to this album together like all the way through countless times, and I couldn't sing the song to you. I couldn't sing any of the song to you or tell you anything about it. And it's also the song I think that's the least consequential to the narrative story. It's the one to me that kind of feels like she had this and wanted to fit it in somewhere and like created something narratively so the song could fit rather than vice versa. So it's Western Nights. That's my me. It just doesn't again, and it comes after American Teenager and House in Nebraska, so it's like not really being done any favors there, but it just doesn't really add anything for me. I don't really find it to stand out lyrically, musically, narratively, none of it. So that's mine.
Tea.
Drew.
Mine, for the same reasoning as I couldn't sing it back to you, but mine is Hard Times.
Got you.
Just kind of
That song has lyrics
flows.
that make me want to put my head in a stove. So that's
Oh,
Yeah.
got it.
those, yeah,
That song is it's so beautiful, but it's
so sad.
so heartbreaking.
It has some of my favorite lyrics on the album though. But I get what you mean because I understand you do. I understand you do. Because I mean that's how I feel about Western Nights. I literally
Yeah,
tell you how that song
I
goes.
couldn't. I could sing Western Nights to you, but I couldn't sing Hard Times to you.
Couldn't sing Western Nights too. I have no idea how it goes.
Dun, 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 Western Nights. Is that how it
I
goes?
don't even know if
Yeah.
like you could have
Ah!
made that up. You could have said anything and I would have been like, sure, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Sure.
Okay, Maria.
Well, my me is also Western Nights.
Woo!
I think I maybe like remember it more than Levi does. Like I could sing it to you. I would say
Maria, if you
like
remember
the
any of it,
weakness.
you remember it more than I do.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, like basically for everything that you said, that's my least favorite. Yeah. Yeah.
She doesn't know favors with the track placement too.
Yeah, with American Teenager and House, Nebraska before,
Yeah.
it's like it's just the biggest supermodels of the universe.
Yeah.
And then like suburban mom who volunteered to try on stuff at Ross on the weekends. Like it's just not the
Well, it's
same.
also even how House in Nebraska ends with that amazing outro.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay, now
Uh,
are we talking about Holy Trinities?
Yeah.
yep.
Our three favorite songs.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now we're going to be talking about the most excellent songs ever written. Like we are getting into some good fucking food right now.
Like the Odyssey, you're nothing.
You're literally
The
nothing.
Iliad, your mother never loved you.
You know. Elliot, your mother never left you. I'm gonna pee my pants. Oh, God, that's so funny. Okay, number miss three. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, give it up.
Number Miss Three.
Whatever the hell. Yeah. Number miss three is Thoroughfare. Oh, do you want to see the
See the
West
West
with
with me.
me? I mean,
Come on.
and talk about it. That's almost a 10-minute song, and it doesn't feel like it to me. It like goes by quick to me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Talk about a vocal, talk about a lyric, talk about guitars, talk about scatting. She fucking scats at the end.
I was gonna say.
The lyrics are some of my favorite lyrics.
Oh.
I feel like it captures this like young love, reckless, impulsive, idealized romantic thing like perfectly. As somebody who grew up in the West, this song feels like the West to me. I grew up in Idaho, very rural, small town Idaho. This feels like that. It feels like what it feels like to be like driving out on a country road with mountains. You're in the desert. Drew's being really crazy right now. He put up his phone and like did like the like lighter thing with his
It's
flashlight.
so
But then
that.
like his
Oh,
that was crazy.
do
Yeah.
you want to see the West with me?
You might not be my love. You might not be my love, but baby, I doubt it.
Oh,
It's so good. Oh wait, no, I need to pull up the exact lyrics because I need to talk about this one specific line, and I don't want to butch it up. Um, it's okay. Do
Should we guess what lyric he's talking about?
Yeah, okay. Guess.
Um, Deep Southern Wet. Is that what the one you're talking about?
what?
No. Oh my God.
I don't know which one.
It's this line that fucks me up so hard. I started to see you differently because for the first time since I was a child, I could see a person who
Oh,
wasn't angry.
I
That's some crazy.
for the first time since I was a child. That's how she sings it, and it's so good.
Okay, my number two. I'm also guessing that there's going to be a lot of repetition in
Yeah.
our top threes. My number two, even Obama was gagging. Let's just say, even Obama gagged so hard at my neighbor's brother came home in a box. We were talking about American Teenager. Even Taylor was gagging. It was on the Eras Tour pre-show playlist.
Oh, you know Taylor has cried to this.
Oh, yeah. She like stuck her head in a toilet bowl after Maddie Healy ghosted her to this song.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100%. This
in
song,
Downtown Lights.
it lip it's just like one of the great pop songs. The production is so good. The guitars are so good. The drums are so good. And it like captures this like angst and disillusionment that I think a lot of teenagers experience in their life so perfectly, especially if like the three of us, you grew up in America with this kind of idea of the American dream. And you grow up and everything's very idealized. And then especially when we were teenagers, because we were all juniors in high school when Trump got elected. For me, that experience was like complete balloon has been popped. And I kind of realized that this like country world that I thought I was living in was actually like a lie. It was a myth and it was like a fairy tale that never really existed. And the real reality is a lot scarier and darker. Um, I do it for my daddy and I do it for Dale. Are you fucking kidding me? I do it for my daddy and I do it for Dale. Like, that's who I do it for. Anything I'm doing it for my daddy and I'm doing it for Dale. You see me running, you see me dancing, you see me eating, you see me typing, you see me walking, you see me crying, you see me screaming. I'm doing it for my dad and I'm doing it for Dale. And that's the only people that you have to do it for. It's a perfect song. It's an incredible song. And then my
Don't let
number,
anyone tell you different.
don't let anyone tell, if everyone says you're doing it for your mommy and you're doing it for Dale, no, you're doing it for your daddy and you're doing it for Dale. That's who you're doing it for. And my number one of my greatest songs of all time, one of the most important songs to me in the world, has one of my favorite lyrics of all time, is Sun Bleach Flies. I had the best first listening experience to this. First time I listened to Sun Bleach Flies, I was coming home from a party and I was really sad and I was on the bus and it was a really long fucking bus ride. And I was just really emotional. I was listening to this album because I was still like getting my way through it. And I turned on Sun Bleach Flies and I'm getting so emotional, like listening to this song on the bus when I'm getting close to my stop. Doors open, and the second that I step out, if it's meant to be, then it will
Oh,
be. The second my foot touches the grass. And I got chills and I was walking back home and I was crying. This song to me is catharsis. It really, you feel like it is a soul looking back at their life and accepting it. That's the thing I love about this song is that she acknowledges the pain and the horror and the horribleness that she experienced, but she accepts it so she can move on and she can ascend to whatever afterlife. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. And one of my favorite lyrics of all time is God loves you, but not enough to save you. So that's what I have.
Oh,
Oh,
I think Sunbleach Flies is such a great companion to the Family Tree intro. Because
Agreed.
like I think Family Tree intro is such a great way to start the album because like you're about to hear this like incredibly treacherous tale of everything that Ethel goes through. But the first song really sets the stage of like she was born into a situation that would like predestine her on this path to experience all of this trauma, but also like some level of like fear or like predetermined like horribleness that like women are just like somewhat destined to experience to some extent is mentioned in the song with like, the fates had already fucked her sideways.
Yeah.
So it's like I think those two songs fit really well together because it's like, yeah, Levi, like what you said, like she's reflecting on all these horrible things that happened to her and accepting them, but then also like with her I suppose like disillusionment with religion, like maybe that's not, I mean, just maybe as an interpretation, like God loves you, but not enough to save you. Like the idea that she knew that like she would be destined for this life of trauma and horrible experiences. And it was just always meant to be for her that that would happen. And it, like, again, accepting it. I don't know. It's just like,
I love that interpretation. I love that. And like that line to me is always just like that you can't just like passively give up and just say it's in God's hand, he'll take care of it. Like, because she follows that line with, so baby girl, good luck taking care of yourself. It's
yeah.
like, to me, it's like ownership. It's
Yeah.
God
Because it's
loves
like the whole
me.
point is that she was not going to be saved.
Yeah, no one, yeah. Because in the end, no one was coming to save me. I literally just got chills saying that. Oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
because, because what do they say? If it's meant to be, it will be.
Yeah.
uh, uh.
You mix the meant to be with the will be, it will be.
And,
It's
and
just,
it's just, it's good.
it's good.
You,
Okay,
okay,
Drew.
Drew.
So it happens sometimes where Levi and I's top threes are exactly the same.
Whoa. Oh my
And
gosh.
it is it,
I
um
kind of thought that a house in Nebraska was gonna sneak into yours
it was so close to being my three,
because you
but you
love House in Nebraska.
cannot be. Well,
Fair.
I was gonna say, so for Sun Bleach Flies being my number one, it has my favorite part of the whole entire album. Obviously, it's my favorite track. But when she brings back the I'm still praying for that house in Nebraska,
Yeah,
I mean, just literally pushed me off a cliff. Like, literally pushed me off a cliff. I can't handle that.
it's crazy.
I can't handle it.
It's fucked up drag. Like it's really crazy.
Yeah. And it's crazy that a song as good as American Teenager is my second
Is
favorite.
not number one. I felt the exact same way. It's like, how is this not number one? But then it's like Some Beach Flies literally exists.
Yeah. So yeah, that was quick.
Okay, Maria.
Okay. I feel kind of crazy about mine. Um, okay. Okay. So my number three is Strangers.
Oh,
Yeah. I think out of like everything at like the back half of the album, like I think this one's actually probably my favorite moment. I love when everything swells and just kind of like explodes at the end with like all of her stacked vocals. Just kind of like that really like groany kind of like, singing like stacked on top of itself. It's just like I don't know, because I like Sun Bleach Flies definitely feels like the more optimistic of the two closers. I don't know. I kind of feel like this album has two closers.
I,
Like
that's
I
how I
kind of
think about it too. That's
like these
exactly
are
how I
kind of
think
like
about it too.
sister closer tracks in my brain. I feel like this one is like has a little bit more of that tinge of um I don't know, like I don't know. It's just like there's something to it that it's a little bit unsavory of like, yeah, like all of that stuff still happened to me. I'm like processing it and I'm accepting it, but like I tried, with like the chorus being the repeated, I tried to be good, am I no good? I just wanted to be yours, all of that. Like, I don't know, especially with the narrative too of like Ethel's like necessity to like be tied to somebody else like like with her like necessity of like needing to like of like her relationship with Willoughby, which is of course explored in the prequel album, and then with I can't remember the name of the guy who's the guy in Western Nights, but like that guy, and then Isaiah. So like she's definitely always had this like innate desire to like be needed by somebody else. So I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought, but like I think I don't know. I really like this track. And I just love the sentiment that it ends on of like her talking to her mom, like, don't cry too much, I'll see you when you get here is just like ugh. So Strangers, my number three. Number two is American Teenager.
Oh,
Um,
number two for everyone.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's like once in a millennium song, honestly.
It's
It's
so
so good.
good.
My number one is a house in Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
OT.
Yeah,
House in Nebraska.
she is that girl for me. I think it's such a beautiful, I mean, I guess if you could call any of these songs ballads, because they're all pretty slow and long, but I feel like this is the ballad, so to speak, of the album. Um, and I think it's just so beautiful. I kind of similar to Thoroughfare, it's like one of the only moments on the album that like semi explores positive feelings and emotions and experiences. Um, but like, because there's parts of this where it's like, yeah, she obviously looks back on her relationship with Willoughby fondly. And it kind of is that song of like, it's better to have loved and lost than if never to have loved at all. But like, honestly, is it though? Because like, I feel like her relationship with Willoughby kind of like sets her up on this trajectory to like always seek like the love of like any guy who may or may not end up being horrible. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just really
It's
complex.
also it's also funny that you say like the song is like one of the more positive ones because the I go straight to the outro of her just saying I feel so alone like
Yeah,
500 times.
I know. But it's like you can like she's
But it is. No,
referencing
you're so
like
right. Yeah.
yes, no, but
It's
yeah.
just it's like that's like the level of like despair that we're talking about on this album. That one of the
Yeah.
only happy moments ends with "I am so alone."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a
Um
beautiful song. Her vocals on this
It's
are just
insane.
insane.
yeah. And I love the kind of breathiness that she brings to her performance here and how a lot of the times like when she's kind of like lofting up to higher notes, how she'll let her voice kind of break. And then it just makes her sound like all of that more like emotional and just kind of like distraught kind of like performance in her voice. So it's just such a good song. It's so great. So that's my top three.
Imagine imagine Taylor covering that song.
I need Taylor American Teenager. That's what I need.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I would do a Florence House in Nebraska personally.
Oh, stop.
Ooh.
But
Florence Thoroughfare.
I need Taylor to do it for Daddy and do it for Dale. That's what I
Oh
need.
my
Yeah.
God, a Florence
Florence
Thoroughfare.
Thoroughfare is crazy.
Oh my
A
God.
Madonna Gibson girl.
Girl, you better stop it with the Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh,
Who? A
Okay.
Phoebe Bridgers sun bleached eyes.
I actually don't know about that one.
oh,
Cool.
Phoebe should cover it. I just think you need a belter for that song. I think you need somebody to make it big. I don't think she'd make it big. Honestly,
Make it big.
Taylor can do that one too.
Gracie.
Well, Gracie has that American Teenager cover
So good.
that people like threatened her life over.
Right.
Okay.
She's
Forgot
very
about
good.
that.
Okay.
So now we'll get into our ratings. So we'll open up our utensils drawer and get into these scores. So,
Yeah.
Drew Fork, would you like to go first?
Yeah. So I was kind of mentioning in my breakdown of how hard it was for me to rate. And where I landed at a 9.1. Just because with how great a lot of these tracks are, I mean, obviously my top three were like all-timers for me. I just thought it couldn't be less than a 9 for me, just with how great all of these tracks are that I'm so obsessed with. However, like it can't be higher than like a 9.1 just because I feel like while it does create a great atmosphere, I just don't think that it is as consistent as I would want it to be like in a higher 9 area. So 9.1 is where I landed.
Amazing.
Nice.
Maria
Yeah.
Spoon,
I am going to go at a 9.4.
9.4. Okay. For incredibly similar reasons to Drew, I'm doing a 9.
Whoa.
Okay. So that's an average
Yay!
score of 9.16.
T.
Great score for Miss Ethel.
Great score for Ethel. Way better than Pitchfork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My God. Yeah. Well, we did it, Maria.
We
Thank you
did
so
it.
much.
Yes.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah, this one was definitely a long time coming. It was like,
Yeah, for
I
sure,
think
for
this is,
sure.
well, I don't know. We probably talked about doing this like at least like maybe in our like first bunch of episodes and then we
Yeah.
kind of
We've talked about doing this one
faded.
so many times, and it's like
Yeah.
come close so many times.
Yeah.
And
But
this
I'm
was
glad
featured in
we
the
have
first
it.
episode because wasn't Sunbleach Flies
Sun Bleach Flies. Yeah.
uh your
Right.
first hot track
My
pick?
first hot track. Yeah.
So yeah,
We're
wow,
See?
still praying for that house in Nebraska.
we are. Maria, I'm kind of gagged at your top three still.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm just like gagged at it's because to me it's like so like not that Strangers is an amazing song and House of Nebraska is an amazing song. To me, just like the three that I picked are so like above the rest. So it's just interesting to see somebody else's take on it.
Well, I knew Strangers was going to be in your top three because when I first listened to it, like whatever, how long ago that was, I think at the time it was your favorite.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah.
Mm,
Like I remember us talking about it, like just in a casual conversation, and you had said that it was your favorite. So when you said it was your three, I was like, oh my gosh, what else is going to be up
interesting.
there?
Yeah.
It's
You know
Yeah.
what
also
actually was really close to making it into mine?
what?
What?
Family Tree intro.
Oh,
Oh, crosses all over my body.
I love that
it's
song. I
so
like it,
good.
well, obviously, I like it more than like the full Family Tree.
I would honestly
Yeah,
agree with you, I think,
I
Maria.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's got more depth to it. Like it's a little bit darker.
And just it
Um,
being the opening track kind of adds heft to it, I think, as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Yeah,
one that
it's
was
great.
close, I mean, it wasn't, I think, maybe as close as your guys's, but my number four, a very strong number four, is a song that I think is really underrated, Gibson Girl. I love Gibson Girl. I love that song. I think it's
Yeah.
so amazing. Well, should we
T.
tell the Pop Girlies Nation what we're doing next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So next week we are going to be talking about what I feel like is kind of the like breakout debut album of the moment right now. I feel like this album is having such like kind of a moment online, on TikTok, on Twitter. I think this is an artist on the rise. I feel like this album kind of came out of nowhere in a way. I know I was not anticipating to love it the way that I do, and I think that's a very similar sentiment. Um, it's one of the most distinct debut albums I've heard in a really long time, and it's one of my favorite albums of the year. And we are talking about Who's the Clown by Audrey Hobart.
Woo!
Yay.
So get ready to clown it up, baby.
Get ready to clown out.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. I don't think I've heard a single song off this album.
Oh, really?
T.
Yeah, so it's gonna be really new for me.
So for context, everybody, Audrey Hober is the childhood best friend of Gracie Abrams. And she began songwriting when Gracie was making The Secret of Us because they were living together at the time. And they just started writing songs together. And she's the co-writer on almost every single song in that album. And she had originally gone to school for screenwriting. She was working in a writer's room on a Nickelodeon show. And then she kind of just was like, I think I'm supposed to be a songwriter. And then she started writing in rooms for people. And she's like, I think I want to write my own songs. And then she wrote this album. So it's just such an interesting story. We can get into
Yeah.
that more. Um, so there's like a
Definitely
connection
listen
with
before.
Gracie, but like it's not, don't go into it expecting a Gracie Abrams album because it is
Yeah.
its own distinct thing.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear what you think, Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah,
And also,
it's gonna be fun.
I think that's my favorite album cover of the year.
Whoa.
I love that album cover. I think it is so fucking funny.
Well,
It's
yeah,
hilarious. Her facial
do
expression on
your
it's so funny.
research for that one for next week.
It's so good. Yeah. So everybody listen, give her some streams. Okay.
Okay.
The puns for this one, I don't even know if I want to do.
I
I feel like it's insensitive.
Yeah, maybe we skip our usual
I
exit
don't think we
puns.
do the pun exit lines.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. No, I don't want to.
Okay. Well,
We all did it for Daddy and we all did it for Dale. So that's all
yeah.
we have to know.
Yeah, there we go.
And
Yeah.
that's all that we're doing it for. Okay.
All right.
Bye, Pop
Bye,
Girlies.
Shanti.
Bye.